Hello, friends. I'm getting right down to it because I don't know how much time I have. This was from YouTube Live stream that I did yesterday, I think. And I'm gonna go back to this one again and again live. I think I also streamed it on Facebook, but I'm experimenting with new technology, so who knows what I actually did. I just posted a TikTok that made me want to do more. Just did this. Who knows what I actually did. I just posted a TikTok that made me want to do more. Just did this. So I figured, well, I'll pop on and do some of that. So I've got Faber-Castell Pitt pen. The Pitt pens tend to be fairly waterproof, which is lovely. I have these Kuretake pens, which aren't as waterproof, but I still love to work with them. This is kind of a hard nib, and this is a softer nib. So I, traditionally speaking, really love a soft nib when I'm sketching like this. So, and then I'm gonna pull up some inspiration photos and just see what we see here. Let's see. What? I'm just gonna search bouquet. Let's search one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, her name just flew right out of my head. Tulipina design. She is one of my favorites. If you need floral inspiration, oh my heavens. Like, look at that. All right, let's start there. We got cherry blossoms. We've got begonia leaves. We've got parrot tulips, fuchsia, and of course, big gorgeous peony. So I'm gonna use that one as my inspiration. So glad y'all are here. I'll be popping up to see your comments here and there, but I'm just gonna sketch. I often start at the center, so I'm gonna go right into this peony here. And the great thing, and why I love these pens, is they are so beautifully reactive to pressure. I love it so much. So when you press super lightly, you get a really fine mark like that. But then you can go in and press harder and of course get a lovely thicker mark. So you get this incredible variation of line quality. Oh my heavens. So good. This is how I sketched everything for my watercoloring books. I used kind of the soft nib pens. And it was just lovely. Lovely line quality. Kind of going around this peony, capturing, honestly, the petals that I find most attractive, that my eye is going to. Just doing kind of little squiggly lines, bouncy, sketchy. I am looking back and forth at this inspiration image, not necessarily to perfectly copy it, but because there's just certain petals, I like the way they're overlapping, and I want to kind of mimic some of what I'm seeing. Not all, like I just totally made that up. And now I'm getting into Make It Up land. So fun. You could do this with a brush. The TikTok that I just posted, I did it all with a brush. I did it with my number 2 brush. So you could literally go in with some India ink number 2. You could also use, I'll show you in a second, you could use your liner brush and you can sketch with the brush. If you haven't done a lot of sketching before, or any sketching for that matter, I feel like sketching with a brush is a lot less nerve-wracking than sketching with a pen. I feel like it feels more free and fluid. So give that a try and see how you feel about it. This ink is not permanent, so when I go over this with watercolor, I'm going to get some bleeding. So I have to be okay with that. I'm adding little round, little oval textury shapes here. I wanted to show you that. I'm gonna go back to the pen because I feel like it. Friends, if you're just hopping on, I got right to it today. I feel like sketching. I pulled up Tulipina Design. She's a floral designer. I know her from the wedding industry. Sorry, you can totally see my ring light here. And she does these incredible designs. And so I literally just searched Tulipina floral, and this is what I got. So let me know if you have questions as I work here. That's not too bad. Gorgeous little fuchsias. I'm gonna get those in. Friends, if you're enjoying this, give a like, show some love, let the algorithm know that we're having fun here. Fuchsia are just kind of almost like a bell shape. They're like a variation on a bell shape. So if you think about just a bell, right? That's just kind of a classic bell shape. Well, a fuchsia is just kind of an edited version of that. So I love to just give you ways to think about how to break down these shapes so they're not so stressful for you. Couple and get some of these lovely leaves in here. And because I'm not so concerned about, I'm pressing really hard right now, about realism, there's no room for me to be judging myself. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, I put that in the wrong place. I'm just using this image from Google as inspiration, something to get my creative juices flowing. But like this leaf doesn't look exactly like the one here, and it doesn't have to. And this next one isn't gonna look exactly like it either, because it doesn't have to. Okay, I've got these little, what are these? Oh, these are dogwoods, I think. Dogwoods are pretty distinctive. Got those little little cutouts at the top of the petal, kind of like that. I just exaggerated mine. Okay. One. Couple leaves. All right, let's see. Questions. What's the name of the Faber-Castell pen? The Faber-Castell was a Pitt pen, so it's a Pitt artist pen, black. And this one is, it's got an M on it, and it looks like that. So it's very like hard, like it's not a bristle. The Pitt pen is permanent. It's waterproof. It's not, once it's dry, it's pretty resistant. These Kiratakis are not, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I'll show you kind of how I work around it. I mean, do I fully work around it? No, just kind of deal with it because I like the pens, so. All right, friends, I am using my 1/2-inch dagger from my Art for Joy's Sake brush collection. Friends, if you're new here, I am an art supply designer as well as an artist. It's a new thing for me. I design these brushes and they are available on Amazon. They just launched about 2.5, almost 3 weeks ago, and we sold out twice. So they're back in stock as of yesterday, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, I just kind of, when I paint with these pens, you know, along with them, I just try to be a little bit lighter handed when I'm getting near my brush marks or my pen marks. Now, obviously you can just let this dry a whole bunch longer than I've let it dry, and you'll get less bleeding. See there? That's a classic kind of result that you'll get with the bleeding. Even with a gentle touch, that's what you're gonna get. But it's okay. There we go. Nice pink. I don't mind a little bit of the smudginess and the bleeding of the color. I really don't. This is a Coral Charm Peony. I'm pushing the coral aspect a little bit. And get some green going on down here. Yeah. I'm gonna get more bleeding going on here because I'm gonna go right over, but it's okay. I just rinse my brush more often. You can also lift up some if it's too much bleeding for you. Or if you don't like bleeding and you want it to be really clean, just stay away from these particular pens. feel like I need a little bit of fluorescent. These just like to pop out everywhere. Oh, I don't have a pink. Do not have a fluorescent pink. Here we go. I'm using the curved edge of this dagger at different angles. See how I'm moving to really get into the nooks and crannies, into these smaller parts. Lead with the point, curve facing down, and you will be blown away at the marks you can get and the precision that you can get. It's pretty incredible. That's why I am such a fan of the dagger. So I'm using Holbein as my main palette today. And then I'm pulled out these Lumi fluorescents. Heading into the center, I'm keeping a light touch because as you see, it's kind of muddying up my color. But I know that going in. Hello, I got my brushes and tried them out today. I love them. Can't wait to do more with them. Yay! Fiance is getting you the brushes for your birthday. Oh my gosh, so cool. I know, I kind of like the bleeding sometimes too. Your brush set is coming on Sunday. You have to patiently wait. Yeah, I know how that goes. Now, obviously, the other thing you could do is, I feel like what are these geraniums? You could paint first. And then head in with a marker. Get a sense of how that is going to feel compared to this. Did anybody make my YouTube live yesterday? I'd love to hear if you did, because I was using new technology and working out some kinks, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. I had a couple people say that the noise was distracting. I'm guessing that was like, because I know there was an echo in the beginning, and then my daughter was super loud at times, so I don't know if people were just distracted by my daughter yelling, because I know the echo didn't last forever. So I don't know. I'd love some feedback. I'm trying to figure out, of course I asked, but I haven't heard back from folks yet who made that comment, but you know, obviously if it's something with my technology, I can fix that. My daughter's screaming, you know, that it is what it is. She comes with the territory. So yeah, if you were there, I'd love to hear if you had issues with sound. All right, now I'm going in. I'm being impatient. Things are not dry. But that's okay. Yeah, so there you go. If you don't like the smudginess, you can go after. Totally different experience, totally different vibe, but super fun. And they kind of, you know, they work together. It's not like these look like two totally different paintings. Go. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. So this is what we're working from. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, her work is so incredible. I love it. I don't know what this is. Is this like lavender, I think? Let's get that in there. I'm gonna paint the lavender first. If you're painting something that's super tiny and detailed, and you're not using like a waterproof ink, I would definitely recommend painting first and then putting the ink over top, because when that ink doesn't have places to move, so to speak, without touching ink, when the watercolor doesn't have places to move without touching ink, you're going to get a lot of smearing, a lot of explosions. So just something to keep in mind. Still using that 1/2 inch dagger. There you go. Going right over top. It's still kind of damp, but it's not so damp that it's causing the pen to really smudge or smear or explode into the watercolor. So it's a nice Gives it a nice kind of velvety touch when the paper is just slightly damp. I'm new to your channel. Do you use a dagger way more than a round brush? Yeah, I use a dagger way more than a round brush. It didn't always used to be that way. I started using a dagger, oh gosh, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years ago, and I just fell in love. Like, I felt like in so many ways I could do with a dagger in 1 or 2 strokes what, you know, a round brush would. Woo! Okay, I just dropped a whole palette on the floor. What a round brush would take me many strokes to do. And it's not like I'm a 1-stroke painter by any means, but I just liked the immediacy of the dagger. Wow, I kind of destroyed my palette. Dang it. Okay, just get these. And y'all ever remember me talking about Jasper Stardust's palette and how crumbly it is? And it's so crumbly that I can't travel with it. Well, guess which palette I just smashed to the ground? My most fragile, crumbly palette that I own. So you can imagine what my floor looks like right now. Anyway, moving on. Now I'm using the 1/4" dagger. And it's not that I don't use other brushes. I do, as evidenced by my new brush collection. I have my favorites in there. But for me, daggers are kind of like a cornerstone, for sure. But I will say, not all daggers are created equal. I like a shorter bristled dagger, gives me more control. There's a lot of daggers out there that are actually more like a sword kind of a brush, not so much a dagger. A dagger is shorter and stiffer bristled, which is what I love. Synthetic, definitely prefer a synthetic dagger because I like the bounce that I get. Now see, this pen is dried for a little bit longer. The India ink down here is dried, and it's not exploding as easily, if at all, actually. So that's lovely. Yeah, it's still exploding down there a bit, quite a bit, but go. Oh, I used the hard one. I was wondering why that didn't feel right. Thank you, Mendelin. Thank you so much. Thanks for hopping on, friends. Just a quick live here tonight. And I just dropped one of my most fragile palettes all over my floor. So you can imagine what that looks like. And I'm working from this photo here. Do a little ranunculus. Gonna be wrapping up soon. Pretty. I'm gonna add a bud or two here, maybe 3. I love ranunculus. Oh my heavens. They're not hardy here in Pennsylvania, so you'd have to like plant them every year, and I got enough trouble on my hands with my dahlias that have to be dug up and replanted every year. So pretty. Okay. Well, friends, I know this is a quick one. I know, but this was super fun. Oh my gosh, yay. I'm so glad I've inspired you. Thank you. All right, friends, just a quick one for tonight. This will, what was the name of the Faber-Castell pen? It was the Pitt pen. Pitt artist pen. And then the one I was using most, I actually didn't use the Faber-Castell at all, is Kuretake. Right there. I can't even pronounce that, but there you are. And this is a soft nib. So just look for a Kuretake soft nib. And yeah, and then I used my Art for Joy's Sake brush collection. I used the 1/2-inch dagger, which is the yellow. I used the 1/4-inch dagger, and I also used the round, which is the brighter green. And I'm going to do something soon for a TikTok I'm going to sketch with the liner brush, because that is so fun. All right, friends, this is just a quick one. Got to get back to the fam right now. I'm going to give you a little fun look at something we're working on for holiday. All right, you ready for this? Y'all know we work with a potter. We designed the painter's pots. Some of you have these before we sold out. One for dirty, one for clean. Both of mine are dirty right now. Well, we have a painter's pot and a brush holder coming out with the pink flower. Really excited about that. And she's designing jewelry for us, pendants. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so look, there's a little loop on the back. You can slide whatever chain through. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about these. Aren't they fun? Anyway, I wasn't planning on showing you, but they were sitting there in my field of vision. I'm like, I gotta show somebody these because everybody at the studio's already seen them. But anyway, little pendants, very excited. Excited about the holidays, for sure. All right, friends, have a wonderful night. Maybe I'll see you again this weekend. I will be uploading to YouTube the follow-up painting. If you were with me, the live that I did last week where I used dying flowers and scrap pieces of paper to create a composition. But a lot of folks were like, okay, but when I take the flowers away, how do I fill in the holes in my painting? So I did just that. So that will be up tomorrow or Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much, friends. Bye.